President Barack Obama is pitching a $3.8 trillion plan that includes $350 billion to stimulate job growth. The president told a crowd of supporters today at a Northern Virginia community college that $8 billion of that would be dedicated to help schools train workers through his community college to career fund.
At a time when our economy is growing and creating jobs at a faster clip, we've got to do everything in our power to keep this recovery on track.
The president is also selling $4 trillion worth of spending cuts, all reportedly designed to trim the deficit over the next decade. $500 million of those cuts are expected to come from the Department of Defense. During a Pentagon briefing today, Deputy Assistant Secretary of the Navy for Budget, Rear Admiral Joseph Malloy, explained why the significant reduction in funding request for the Okinawa-Guam realignment. In FY 2012, the request was for $159 million, as opposed to the FY 2013 request of just $51 million for the Marines' relocation.
Why are you requesting so much less money this year? Is it related to the deadlock over Fukushima or other uncertainty regarding the realignment?
There's a backlog of money that's already been appropriated. We need to get that plan to the Hill and then execute all of that. We also need to do an expanded EIS out there. That's going to take time. So our case was, if we put up more money than that we aren't going to be able to execute in the next year or two, we very likely would lose it on the Hill. So better to put in the project on the north ramp at Anderson Air Force Base to where I know I'm going to put a footprint there, and then put the planning and design money in to start working the plans as we go from this 2+2 and what I would call the delinking between the governments. We'll step ahead and design more to the future for Guam, but we have still a backlog of things to build out there independent of the size of the troops.
Instead, a total of $102 million in military construction funding will go toward the North Ramp parking project at Anderson Air Force Base, Phase 4 of the Army National Guard's Joint Force Headquarters Improvement Project, and a fuel pipeline upgrade project. Undersecretary of Defense Comptroller and DoD's Chief Financial Officer Robert Hale, however, told reporters that the $51 million request for the Guam realignment might not be set in stone as dialogue between the U.S. and Japan continue.
There are ongoing discussions. We don't yet have a specific plan. We need to both work with the Japanese and also consult with the Congress. I think the answer is if we come up with a plan, we will need to look again at our financial needs in fiscal 13, and yes, we may have to adjust them.
Aside from defense spending, also included in the president's budget, $139.4 million in civilian infrastructure for Guam, which includes $20 million for the complete construction of the Guam Mental Health and Substance Abuse Facility, $12.8 million for the construction of the Guam Regional Public Health Laboratory, $106 million in water and wastewater projects. Additionally, $5 million will be appropriated to implement a comprehensive plan to mitigate the impacts and costs of compact migration, $3 million for brown tree snake control, and $1 million to assist with coral reef